welcome to SveNFL.
What is up, y'all?
It's Jonathan Rollins.
Schif Misara.
And we're two Americans living in Sweden talking about spot on prediction.
Let's go.
Schif, man. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
You know, there comes a certain burden with being right all the time. It's not as fun as it seems. It's lonely out here being right on fuck Kyle Shanahan Island.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like there's a lot of people who are like wanting to come to my island suddenly. So
I wouldn't call it I wouldn't say fuck Kyle Shanahan Island. I got respect for the guy and all that stuff. I would say Kyle Shanahan got to prove yourself now, Island. Show me Island. You know what I mean? Where the hype is there. Even though you said something to me today. We were chatting back and forth, and you were saying that you don't like how overrated he is.
Yeah.
But I don't find him to be overrated.
Yeah.
I think he's accurately rated. He's a top 10 coach in the league. No?
Sure.
He's the guy who brought his team to the NFC Championship game and Super Bowl twice already.
Yeah, I give him that. I agree. He's a top 10 coach in the league.
He brought Jimmy Garoppolo to the Super Bowl. And they lost to a dynasty twice.
I feel like as much as I think he's a top 10 coach in the league, I don't think there are any coaches in the league where people make more excuses for his failures. I just don't know any other coaches.
What comparison is there, though? There's no coach that gets to where he's getting them. You know who got compared? You know who got that?
Who?
Andy Reid. There was a long time when people said Andy Reid couldn't win the big one.
Yeah, but did anyone ever consider Andy Reid? This whole like genius narrative bugs me with Kyle Shanahan.
Andy Reid was considered like an offensive. It's a very comparable career, the two of them.
I've heard a lot of, and don't get me wrong, like the best thing that Kyle Shanahan has going for him is that he's still young. You know, there's a very real possibility that he has an Andy Reid type arc to his career. He has so much time to either win one with the 49ers or get a change of scenery and win one somewhere else. So I'm not saying he's not capable. But just saying
can't bask in the glory of him.
I'm just saying the brother needs to work through some shit. He's gonna have to work through some shit.
Last time it was in your guys' loss, it was all ego. And then in the second loss, I don't know, it was just greatness they were up against with the Chiefs.
One?
The Chiefs.
Yeah, but they still blew a 10-point lead.
Yeah, I know, but it was just they were still against greatness. It wasn't like they stopped. You know what I mean? Like they stopped running the clock.
What about when they lost to the
But this
Rams
time it was a blown game.
What about when they lost to the Rams in the conference championship?
His team lost to the Rams? Which year? When the Rams won it all? I don't remember the game. I'm sorry, I don't remember.
It was again blew. It was. I think that they had at least a touchdown, maybe a 10-point lead. I don't remember.
But at the time they were saying the Rams bought that Super Bowl, right? Rams had the best roster.
Look, I just I'm like, okay, I talk about.
Like, I don't like the motherfucker. All right,
we got fuck Kyle Shanahan Island, and we got, what did you call it?
Prove yourself. Yeah, show and prove.
Show and prove Kyle Shanahan Island. I can tell you one thing is for sure: the fuck Kyle Shanahan Island. It is way more fun to be on that island.
Yes,
now. That's where the party's at. Okay,
that's where the party's at. I'm on the boat right now. I'm on my way.
That's where all the fun is at. We got frozen margaritas. We got bourbon. We got weed. We got ladies. We got Usher. I can't wait to get into that.
Yeah, it was a fun Super Bowl, though. I'll say that. I felt bad. At the end, I felt bad. I feel bad for Kyle Shanahan because
I did too. As much as I hate him, I'm not gonna lie. Like I really do not. I feel bad for him.
Yeah,
I really do.
When this is going to turn into a narrative of like, to me, it's such a fake narrative too. Like the can't win the big win or choking and all that, stuff like that. I always feel like that removes context a lot of times. And this one, he made some decisions that are questionable down the stretch. You could place the blame on him if you say that they should have won. You could place the blame on him for them losing. But it's one of the games and not, you know what I mean? Because he's fucking Dan Quinn was the head coach of the 28-3. People they can't, he could have been like, no, you're going to run the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfair to act like Kyle Shanahan,
Sure. There's nuance to it. I agree.
Yeah.
But let's get into it. Because as I alluded to last week, I may or may not have been given the opportunity to pitch my version of the final script that should be followed by the players and the coaching staff for Super Bowl 58. That was weird enough in itself, but after spending last week, working on my pilot script for this Italian series I'm working on, I honestly kind of forgot about it. I switched over to planning for my 25th wedding anniversary party, which you were at. Good times were had.
Yeah.
Good times were had. We had good food. We had lots of drinks. We partied till you left. I think I was up till 2:00 in the morning, which is rare for me.
Man.
Anyway, after the party was over, as I was trying to go to bed at 2:00 in the morning, I received a phone call.
Okay.
A voice on the other end informed me that my pitch was not only accepted, but they were going to need me to tweak the script a bit to fit their desired outcome of the game. So today, the SveNFL listeners will get an exclusive behind-the-curtain discussion on how the game went, but also how the script was written in this particular way.
Let them know, man.
So the first question that our listeners and the viewers of the Super Bowl must have been asking was, why did the beginning of the game have to suck so hard?
I didn't think it sucked. Was that your plan? Was that in your plan?
Well, the thing is this, unlike a movie script, which needs to start off with a bang, you got to throw people off the scent. You don't want them to think that it's scripted. You want people thinking like, there's no way. This is a shit bowl. This couldn't be scripted, right? I mean, that's why the game starts off with fumbles and punts for the most part, right? You got McCaffrey fumbles in the red zone, and then what?
Man,
was it the next drive? Pacheco fumbles in the red zone as well?
No, it was like two drives later.
It was a few drives later. But big time plays. I mean, honestly, all kidding aside, the first half of this game was a defensive masterclass. Like these defenses were flying around like crazy.
Fantastic. San Francisco looked insanely good. So unfortunate that Greenlaw tears his Achilles coming from the sidelines.
Bro, that was heartbreaking. Absolute heartbreaking.
They should make a rule that the Super Bowl's always played on grass from now on.
But I don't see how him bouncing around on the sideline. I don't see how
he ran out to go back into the game.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Honestly, that's a freak thing.
I just think it's a freak fucking thing. And it's weird because it happens, man. It happens to. It's actually kind of scary. I'm always afraid it's going to happen to me. But it fucking sucks. It totally sucks.
We had a company basketball game when I was working for FedEx, and my boss tore his Achilles. Just got a rebound, stepped over, pop.
Ugh, bro, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wanted Kyle Shanahan to score first so he could get that double-digit lead. Jawan Jennings throwing a touchdown pass to McCaffrey. I mean, I'm just having fun with the script at that point. I'm just like, hey, let's see if they'll let me get away with this. That was fucking brilliant. And did you see the shot that Jennings took the second after the ball let go?
Oh, I didn't know that. I watched the game twice. I missed it.
He lets go of that ball, and he gets fucking hammered the second the ball leaves his hands. It was like perfect timing. But he stood in there and took it like he is a former quarterback, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think he was one of those.
He had to launch that across the field, man.
He was one of those quarterbacks. So he gets to the combine and they make him be a wide receiver. One of those guys. Anyway, for me, I wanted the score to be 10-0 at the half, but the Chiefs went off script and they got that field goal right before the half, proving once again the actors cannot be trusted with even the most perfect script ever written. I was pissed, which exactly why I had Mahomes throw a pick on the first possession of the second half.
Do you think maybe they got the script? Did you write it to where they're supposed to miss the 57-yarder and then he hit it by mistake? You think that could have been it?
It's one of these things. Every time you write a script, once it gets into their hands, things can happen that are beyond your control, right? And you can only reach out and punish them so much. You know what I mean? I didn't want him to kick that field goal, so I forced Mahomes to throw that pick on the first drive of the second half, just to show him like who's in fucking charge here, right? But anyway. But that brought us to the half at what? 10. Well,
how about before that? Oh, okay. Yeah, in the third quarter, it was 10-3. Halftime.
Well, I want to like pause and talk about the halftime show.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Okay, that's what I want
because my man Usher from the A, like, bro, what did you think?
I loved it. Everything about it. The songs, it's like remembering, like, oh shit, this song too, oh shit. And we were both wrong about the first song.
Yep. He didn't even play the song I thought he was going to play as the first song. DJ got his Falling in Love?
I think he played that at some part.
I don't think so.
Okay. Mm-mm. But so he caught me off guard with that. But he did play Oh My Gosh. Okay, of course. will.i.am was there.
I thought it started off a little slow, which much like the game. But he played all the ballads, almost like just to get them out of the way, so he could just finish with nonstop bangers.
But the skating was so dope, man.
Bro, I was like, that's a bold statement.
And he loses his balance at one point when he goes through will.i.am's legs.
Yeah.
And then he's supposed to do the move, but will.i.am didn't open his legs enough. He probably was mad at him for that. So he slides through his legs, he gets up, and he like leans, but he catches himself and like kind of spins or whatever. I was like, look at Usher, man. That's great. That was a great performance, I thought.
Can we talk about how fucking smoking hot Alicia Keys looked? I was like,
I didn't know we were allowed to talk about it. God damn.
Bro. And it wasn't because she was sitting behind that crazy looking piano, which was dope as hell, right? And then
with the big dress, they let the dress go.
When she stood up, when she stood up, and she's in that skin tight red suit, I was like, woo!
Risk it all.
Lord of mercy.
Lord of mercy.
Lord of mercy.
Usher kept trying to touch her.
Oh my God. I was like, I saw the funniest tweet. What was it? It was a picture of Rihanna from last year next to a picture of Usher, and it said last year's Super Bowl halftime show Rihanna was pregnant, and then over the Usher one it was like this year we're all pregnant.
Oh yeah, he took his shirt off. No nipple gate this time.
Yeah, he was hot as hell.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I mean, you cap this whole thing off with, Lil Jon, Ludacris.
Lil Jon got it turned up. Turned down for what? He said, turn down for what? That was dope.
And they're out there chanting at the end. What did he say? I brought the world to the A. I brought the world to the A. Yeah. I was like, I mean, that was like my fucking cum shot right there, bro. I had chills. I bet. So freaking out.
This Super Bowl was, I could tell you wrote the script.
Totally.
Everything about this was.
It had a heavy Georgia influence.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to the second half. Luckily, for the Chiefs. That interception amounted to nothing because Kyle Shanahan proved the age-old adage that a tiger just cannot change his stripes.
Okay, how so?
Up by a touchdown. They get a pick. They got great field position.
Yeah.
And Kyle Shanahan seemed to have forgotten that he has the best running back in the entire NFL and called up 6 straight passing plays for a total of -2 yards.
Wow.
And barely took 3 minutes off of the clock.
I didn't know. I forgot about that stretch.
It was like very, very reminiscent of the 28-3 shit where it didn't last it didn't happen. Like it was like he realized that he was like, shit, I did it again. God damn it. And he balanced things out after that. But it was like a really, really interesting, like.
That's an important stretch right there too, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you can't bury a coach for one drive. I got so much more to bury him for later. But it's these I like to call them these little big things.
Mm-hmm.
These little big things.
Yeah, it was important to come away with points right there.
Yeah. And you think about how many points they got off of all of the turnovers they got from the Chiefs. How many points did the 49ers score off of the 2 Chiefs turnovers? How many?
0.
0. None.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because it was a pick, but the Pacheco fumble was, they kind of got points off of that because they were in field goal range. So that is a flip. You know what I mean?
Sure. But you could say the same thing about the McCaffrey fumble.
Right.
I mean, he fumbled 10 yards from the goal line.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's keeping points off the board.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, this is a dude who's known for blowing 10+ point leads in 2 Super Bowls, right? Some people give him a pass last year because he ran out of quarterbacks versus the Eagles.
What do you mean? He lost his 3rd string quarterback.
He ran out of quarterbacks.
Okay. I was going to say, it's his rookie, last pick quarterback that he was somehow in the championship game with.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that part, man.
And then the other quarterback got a concussion, right? Remember, Purdy came out, and then I forget who it was that they sent in, but they sent in another quarterback, and he got a concussion. So Purdy
I'm just saying that he was in the championship game with a patch together.
Totally. I'm not saying I don't really bury him for that game, to be honest.
Okay.
Like, it's just very unfortunate. That being said, the 49ers are known, one of the things they're known for is like having injury problems.
Yeah.
I mean, they're historically one of the most injured teams in the National Football League in the Kyle Shanahan era. I don't pretend to know why that is. I just know it's
very
a thing.
true, though.
I really don't know why, but it's a thing. So yeah. And then, of course, I brought up the McVay thing. And to me, losing to McVay in the conference championship a few years ago, this is a guy that Shanahan, what's the regular season narrative of Shanahan versus McVay? He owns McVay in the regular season. And then you can't beat him in the big spot. So, do what you will with that. Anyway, I digress. So now we get to the part of the game where it really, for most fans, I agree with you. I like the back and forth of the game up to this point. Yeah. But I can also understand that maybe to some people it felt a little boring. But then shit really started to light up. Especially for me, the game really started to change when Mahomes started to use his legs. They were struggling on offense all night long. And they
ran 2 plays in a row, 2 running plays in a row.
Yeah, exactly. And you just knew there had to come a moment where the best player in the NFL was just going to put the team on his back, right? Mm-hmm. And to me, this is the difference between, again, whatever. Shanahan wants to keep going to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy. Yep. You do that all you want. There is no substitute for Patrick Mahomes. It's just not.
That's true.
I'm sorry, but like,
and they got to look at it like an opportunity too. Like, as an NFC team, get a good quarterback. You'll be elite.
It's really not that hard.
Just just grab one from an AFC team. Like most of the really good quarterbacks are in the AFC battling it out amongst each other. Get somebody.
Yeah. I mean, too much. If Kyle Shanahan has one major fault, it's that he puts too much faith in the scheme.
Yeah.
He puts too much faith in the scheme. And then he gets punched in the mouth by one of the best players that's ever played the game. Period. He's like,
and you're against a defense that's not giving up 50 points against it. You know what I mean? With that scheme. Mm-hmm. The scheme is you're gonna have to have more.
The 49ers muffed punt was obviously the biggest turning point in the game. Yeah. That was really unlucky. It goes off of the guy's it goes off the side of that dude's foot or his ankle. And then, it's so hard to dunk on, you see it in slow motion, and it's easy to say that Ray McLeod, like, just fall on the fucking thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? To pick it up.
He tries to pick it up, but it's like in slow motion, everything looks easy. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't blame him for that. And then, of course, the Chiefs throw a touchdown pass to MVS because why not? I mean, what's the point of having such a dysfunctional receiver core all year if you can't throw them touchdown passes in the Super Bowl? Right?
I think even Kadarius Toney would have caught that ball as open as he was too.
I think I feel like it was almost an insult to the 49ers that they threw a touchdown pass to MVS.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that would have been more insulting is if they just subbed in Kadarius Toney for one play
in street clothes. Out there with a sweatsuit on.
Yeah. Obviously, the 49ers retook the lead, but that blocked extra point. I mean, how huge
you weren't
was
in
that?
The chat. We were in the chat talking about it. I know you were asleep.
We were
talking about it in the chat during the game. Like, that's going to be huge.
I mean, it kept it was easily one of the most defining moments of the game. It keeps it a 3-point game, right?
Yep.
And sets up all the drama that comes later. Yeah, it was a bad kick. I mean, he kicked it too low, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you're not supposed to be able to block because it's not like someone got around the edge. They blocked it from the line. You know what I mean? And again, look, I don't. It's not easy being out here on fuck Kyle Shanahan Island, but he literally ditched one of the best kickers in the NFL, Robbie Gould.
Gould, yeah, but Gould's old though, man.
But he never misses, and he dumped Robbie Gould to draft Jake Moody, who has had some real issues with consistency all year long. So, I'm just saying.
Moody made a 55-yard field goal, man.
He did. He broke the record until Butker came along and said,
came and re-broke it.
Re-break this off your ass. So obviously they take the lead. Chiefs put together a long clock-eating drive. Drive stalls in the red zone, but they tie it up 16-16 with 6 minutes to go. And now we've got a legitimate nail-biter. I don't know about you, but I thought the cutaways to Taylor Swift were really fun in this game.
Yeah, same.
I felt like
Ice Spice was there?
Yeah, you could really you could tell she was feeling every second.
Even if it wasn't her, like the people around her, they were so invested that it was like getting to see somebody watching from home.
Yeah.
They were invested like we were, so it was fun instead of seeing Roger Goodell elbowing, rubbing elbows with somebody or some owner looking bored. It was cool cutaways to that. Or like it was like, especially in the Super Bowl, a fan, like an actual fan, you got to see a fan screaming type of thing. That's better than in the Super Bowl. A lot of times it's just.
And I love the pregame shots of like crushing beers before, like chugging beers and shit.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I was like, this woman is perfect to to join the Kelsey family. These people are like 90% beer. Yeah. So obviously, I wanted Kyle to get another lead, just so I could twist the knife a little more. Right? 49ers piped that go-ahead field goal, but with 1:53 on the clock, that's clearly more than enough time for Patrick Mahomes to get into field goal range. They send this thing into overtime. But that play, how about Kelsey and that play, because it was a little dicey there on that drive at one point, and then he throws the ball to Kelsey, who goes on that long run to basically turn the field goal into a chip shot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that was a huge play at that moment. So we go to overtime, and that brings us to the coin toss.
Yeah, this ain't your 2022 overtime.
This is the moment where Kyle Shanahan, like all the other stuff, whatever, okay? This is where he blew the game.
Yeah.
All right? Now, to be clear, for those of you who don't know the new overtime rules, because apparently the 49ers didn't know them either, the new overtime rules state that both teams get the ball regardless of what happens in the first possession of the game. Okay? This is how they do it in college football.
Kind of.
Well, they do.
Like kickoff and all that shit.
The way the overtime plays out in college football is different. But the idea that each team gets a possession, that's the same. Okay?
Okay.
And that's why in college football, it is automatic. If you win the coin toss, you always go second.
Yep, defer. Yeah.
Always go second. Why? Because you know exactly what you have to do to win or stay in the game. It's automatic. It's 100% automatic.
They must have been operating on the if we score a touchdown, we win. And then we'll put pressure on them type of thing.
So
to take the ball first, you have to be thinking like that.
So he either did not know the overtime rules and he lied in his post-game press conference, because he said in his post-game press conference, he explained that he elected to receive the first possession because he wanted to make sure that he got the third possession.
What if the second possession is a touchdown?
Exactly.
So he just said, we're going to hold him to a field goal no matter what.
Either that or someone just forgot to explain to Kyle that
if you want to make sure you get a third possession, you take the first one and score a touchdown. So if they score a touchdown, then you get the third possession.
Exactly.
If you take the first possession and you don't get a touchdown, if you take the second possession, you get what I'm saying.
You're playing Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. You have to be an absolute moron to assume that you're going to get a third possession. Because that third possession is sudden death, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The first two possessions, if there is a third possession, then it goes back to the way regular season overtime works. Whoever scores first wins.
If that's his logic, and you don't have some crazy fourth down, which they didn't. It was a fourth and medium, it would have been. Then you don't kick the field goal. To make sure you get the third possession.
Yeah.
If that's the logic you're going with, you go for it on fourth down. Yeah. Try to get that touchdown so that you get the third possession.
And don't forget, this could have looked even worse, right? Because that first 49ers possession in overtime was damn near a 3-and-out, but not for a holding call, right? Third down, Purdy can't get the throw off.
Purdy was he was missing some of these throws, man.
100%.
He was missing the big boy throws.
Yeah. And it was a real call. It was a legitimate call. Great. I'll say just in general, the refs, great job for just staying out of this game. Really, really great job. They were not a storyline in this game at all, which was very refreshing.
Just what you want to be, yeah.
They were exactly what they needed to be.
And it felt like the beginning of the game, somehow the Chiefs had all the jitters. And then in the second half, the 49ers started getting the jitters for all of the pre-snap issues and little weird stuff. Because even, let's not forget that early in one of the drives in the first half, the pitch back, the Pacheco loses because he takes his eye off the ball.
Yep.
And that kind of destroys the drive.
Yep, exactly. So after the 49ers kicked that field goal, essentially the Chiefs had all the information that they needed, right? They're like, okay, they kicked a field goal. We got to score a touchdown. It completely affects the way you call the rest of the game at this point. And to further hammer home just how absurd that coin toss decision was, what did the Chiefs do? They go out and they win the whole goddamn thing on a masterful.
Yeah.
On a masterful 13 play, gotta have it, going for it on fourth down, doing everything they had to do to get first downs when it was a 3rd and long, and they capped the whole thing off by a dead giveaway to SveNFL Nation, who actually wrote the script for Super Bowl 58, a motherfucking touchdown pass to my man, former Bulldog, Miko Hardman, baby. I cannot even tell you how much, because obviously I did not watch the game live. I woke up, I grabbed my phone. I'm like, cool, Chiefs won. I checked the box score. I'm like, oh, snap. Miko Hardman got a touchdown. Oh, fuck. He got the game-winning touchdown.
Oh, man. I think it would have been better if you watched it without knowing the score.
I do, too.
That would have been more fun.
I think because of the way I feel about Kyle Shanahan, it didn't matter that I knew the score.
Okay.
I was just so happy to watch like how it unraveled.
Oh yeah, that's good too. So, yeah,
you know what I mean? I was like, ooh, yeah, show it to me. Show me how it went down. Show me how it went.
I know just what you mean.
And how funny is it that they win the Super Bowl on the same play that they won the Super Bowl with last year? It's this play called Corn Dog.
Oh yeah.
Where they do the where they act like the receiver is going in motion, and then he snaps the ball, and
he goes back,
and then he goes back and catches the easy 3-yard touchdown pass. Unbelievable. But it was just like, people keep saying that this, there's something about Mahomes that just feels inevitable. And all of this stuff is obviously very cliche. And everyone's like, oh, we're running out of things to say about Patrick Mahomes. But it's like, on some level, it's like, you just got to sit back and just enjoy the ride. Unless, of course, you're in the AFC. Especially the AFC West. You
gotta hope for some. Yeah, you gotta hope for some lineman injuries. Like they're a couple lineman injuries away from having this be their 4th Super Bowl.
Because I've heard. I mean, there's been so many great comparisons. Now that the game is over, I heard one yesterday where they were sort of comparing Mahomes to Jordan in the sense that, like, you think about all these great quarterbacks in the AFC, right? Mm-hmm. All these guys who feel it's my turn. It's my turn. Like, you think about all those great players who played during the Michael Jordan era who are like, I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one. And it's like, nope, not as long as I'm here because I want them all.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a fair comparison, I think.
Damn, Joe Burrow had his chance, man.
He did. He blew it. He should have gotten him one.
That was your shot.
Could have been. Could have been your one and only shot. I mean, there were so many interesting things that happened in this game that we haven't even really touched on. I mean, the fact that Kelsey had 1 catch for 1 yard at the half and then comes out and gets 8 for 92 to end the game. We mentioned Harrison Butker.
And Kelsey assaulting his coach.
Yeah, that was interesting. What was your take on that?
Fuck that intensity shit. That's a 65-year-old fat man. What are you doing? Like, what, you wanted to be in the game? It was Pacheco fumbled. Like, what? It's such a weird time to do that.
Well, I think it was on a 3rd down, and he felt like he should have been in the game. And
if he's in the game, it doesn't make Pacheco not fumble.
Yeah, true. I think
they're probably still running the ball. It's like, why are you in his face right now? You think he's happy that it fumbled?
I think it would be a bigger deal if they had lost the game, obviously. And it would have been a bigger deal if Andy Reid had fallen down.
Yeah. What if he fell over? Like he lost his balance. He was like, oh. Another human being touching my body.
They were all friendly afterwards, obviously.
Of course, yeah. Yeah. But some people say Taylor Swift should, hey now, watch out.
Red flag.
CTE.
Red flag.
Roid rage.
I heard somebody yesterday had a funny take about those two. Like, after the Super Bowl, like, now that it's been such an exciting ride for them as a couple.
Yeah.
You know? And now it's like Super Bowl's over, and it's like, okay, so what do we do now?
What are you doing? You don't have a game? You don't have a game? You got practice?
No. You want to make dinner? No. Why don't you? Oh, should we order in? What do we like? We'll see if they're built to last.
Her next song is gonna be about how he's just sitting around my living room.
Travis never cooks or cleans.
Something's off about this season. Especially if he retires. No.
See, she'll have a new song called "See You in September."
Yeah. Oh man.
So
it was fun though, man. Fun Super Bowl.
Look, we talked a lot about the Kyle Shanahan failures, but honestly, I kind of want to really talk about the fact that, I mean, you have back-to-back Super Bowls for the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. First time since Brady did it with the Patriots. What, over 20 years ago?
Yeah, about 20 years ago.
No one's ever done the three-peat.
Ever? Terry Bradshaw didn't win? Wow.
Nope. But my question is, what's to stop the Chiefs from doing it?
Injury. That's the only thing. Or bad luck. Like, with that team, this is the worst. No. If that defense stays good like that, they're good, man.
Because here's the thing. They trade Tyreek, right? Arguably one of the best receivers in the NFL. And then what do? They go win back. They go win back-to-back Super Bowls with a subpar receiver core. Yeah. They have one of the best and certainly the youngest defense to ever win the Super Bowl. I assume the coaching staff will remain intact. Reed's staying. Spags didn't get any interviews. Hell, they might even bring back Bieniemy. Considering their offensive troubles, this Chiefs team that has just won back-to-back Super Bowls, they can only get better. It's
a very Patriots-like thing. The thing they have is a very Patriots-like to do your job, adjust, and conquer type of thing. They're like, figure out what's needed. The best iteration of this team is realized towards the end of the season, and then we ride it out. They peaked in the playoffs. When they started looking most dangerous was in the playoffs. And yeah, it's gonna be tough you can't predict somebody to knock them down. It'd have to be somebody coming out with a surprise thing. Like, I could see the Chargers giving them, like, maybe Harbaugh brings in a different energy, and then the Chargers just turn into. But they'll have to have some fucking, like, say Jim Harbaugh figures out Justin Herbert and maximizes that potential, then you got you a straight up crazy rivalry over there. Or if I would have said Miami if they kept Fangio, but we don't even know what their defense is going to look like.
Like, I just keep wondering, like, what happens if the Chiefs hit on the draft and get another Rashee Rice? What happens if they dip into free agency and they go get like a D-Hop or a Mike Evans, right? Shit, I feel like this team could probably win a Super Bowl with Adam Thielen, for fuck's sakes. I mean, it's ludicrous what they were able to do.
It's crazy that he's an upgrade. He upgrades the receiver core.
He's an upgrade.
Yeah. It'll have to be some Mahomes having a bad game in the playoffs is what you have to hope for. Because he'll have a bad game in the season every now and then.
Yeah.
But if you have to have him have he seems like cold as ice, man. He don't really fuck up. Like, that pick he threw, really bad mistake. That was bad. Really bad mistake. But
and that
how often is that going to happen?
The only like real deep shot, the one that was that MVS that he threw that to?
Ooh.
I mean, that
Mecole
should have been
Hardman.
Mecole Hardman, yeah. That should have been picked. I mean, he was double covered, and the guy
the
on
safety
the
ran, but he probably saw that the safety went to weak first, and then he went strong.
He gave up on the I think he either lost the ball or he gave up on it and he stopped running. But if he had kept going, he would have had a pick for sure, 100%, or at least batted it down.
And somebody on the Chiefs defense made a fantastic. It seemed like Purdy saw him too late and throws it because the throws Purdy threw to the end zone, each one of them got batted down. But it seemed like he saw it half a step too late, and the defender got to recover. But those throws, man. And then there was some across the middle Debo that he threw too low for Debo to catch because he's so scary going fast across the middle.
And you're right about Purdy. He missed all the big boy throws.
Yeah.
He had a couple. There were at least 3 or 4 where he had a guy who was wide open, had a step, had at least 2 or 3 steps on the guy covering him. And he just overthrew him. Yep. I'm not here. I don't care. Like, I'm generally not a big fan of these black and white conversations. Like, he's either a game manager or he's elite. I think he's neither. He's like, I think there's a world where he's something else in between. Honestly.
Agreed. Yeah, he can't just be I don't want to say system quarterback. He can't just be a good quarterback in a good system.
I just think the argument for people who want to call Purdy a game manager usually comes down to like, oh, if you stick him on the Carolina Panthers, let's see how good he is. And I'm like, yeah, but you could say that about Mahomes. Like, you can say that about anybody. Yeah. Like, any great quarterback is going to look like shit on a team like the Carolina Panthers. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not here for that argument. I mean, that's just. I think he's a good quarterback. I'm not here for most
arguments. I'm starting to realize
I'm not 100% sure I would consider him a top 10 quarterback. He's not close. He's close.
He's middle of the pack, which is good.
I'd say he's like around 12 to 15.
Yeah. And when he starts getting more comfortable and getting better at reading defenses and like taking advantage of his athleticism, he's gonna move up a little bit in the ranks.
Because even the greats will miss where he tried to force, when Mahomes tried to force that touchdown pass to Kelsey, it was very similar to that one it was like a back shoulder throw, like the one that they won with against the Ravens the week before. And when you see the all 22, you see Rashee Rice wide the fuck open in the end zone, like Mahomes just never saw him. You don't even have to go to overtime if he hits that. Yeah. So, it happens, but it's like, in my opinion, Shanahan needs to quit fucking around and go get if he wants to win a Super Bowl, you should go get an elite quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yep. But then it looks less like it's on him. He looks less of a genius.
Maybe that's why. I wonder if he's like that. Like he's just determined.
I'm pretty sure he's like that.
You think he's determined to win with a mid-level quarterback just so that he can prove that it's all him?
His comp is Kendall Roy.
This take, by the way, is so good.
You are not serious people.
And they look so similar.
Have you seen Kendall Roy and Kyle Shanahan in the same room before?
Mm-mm.
No.
And have you seen Kendall Roy win the Super Bowl?
Nope.
Nope. Have not.
What is he saying now? I'm the bloodline. No, he said, I'm the eldest son. I am the eldest son.
Give it to me. Doesn't he scream that?
So yeah.
I think he screams, give it to me.
What a scene. I think I might rewatch Succession.
It's really good.
All right, man. It was fun. What a season.
You got some MVPs?
Oh, MVP, I got to say Mahomes. You got to go with Mahomes. Andy Reid, you see he still got it, so he took a bump and he stayed up.
That's true. I mean, Taylor Swift, she wins a Super Bowl in her rookie year. Good for her.
Yep, well done. They would have been nothing without her.
So much for her being a distraction. Oh, the Chiefs. She's going to be the Yoko Ono of the Chiefs.
And what about you, MVP? You got to say Mahomes, right?
Yeah, but for me, I had a chance to really kind of dive into this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that stood out to me was the Chiefs defense blitzing on over 50% of their snaps. Chris Jones living in the backfield. The 49ers were terrible on third down conversions, only 3 for 12. The Chiefs had multiple fumbles, turned the ball over twice, and the 49ers produced exactly 0 points from those turnovers. To me, that is the magic of Steve motherfucking Spagnuolo again.
I was looking. They showed a shot of Steve, the other Steve Wilkes, on the other side, because that 49ers defense was like, "Come on, y'all, join the party." Because Bosa and his former college teammate Chase Young met at the quarterback more than once. They were getting to him, man. Armstead had a sack. Chase caused the intentional grounding.
Yep.
Like it was looking pretty good early in the game. They just couldn't capitalize. I think that McCaffrey fumble really, really hurt them.
For sure. And I agree with you.
They needed to get points on the board.
I think the 49ers D played great for most of the game. And the Chiefs really, really struggled to put up points. But Spags never blinked.
Yep. Nope.
And he didn't quit scheming up ways for Jones and Karlaftis and Bolton and the rest of those guys to just straight up wreck drive after drive. They only sacked Purdy once, but they had several tackles for a loss, plus 11 QB hits, disrupting Purdy every chance they got. I mean, the number of times that he had to hurry a pass because he had Chris Jones just up in his grill. I just think Spags won him this game.
Yep.
Because the offense was not great until deep into the second half. And in some cases, it took a little bit of luck, like a fucking ball bouncing off a dude's ankle on a punt, you know? I mean, to me, this was just a classic example of your defense giving you a chance to win the football game.
Yep.
My trash is obviously Kyle Shanahan for that stupid coin toss.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't blame it. If you're looking for one person to hang it on, it's got to be him, man.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
The thing that I learned about this game was that days before the Super Bowl even takes place, all this like 49ers out here bitching about their practice field, saying that it wasn't up to snuff, and then saying it's fine, we'll deal with it. But behind the scenes, reports are dripping out that they're so pissed off they considered finding a new place to practice or maybe even flying back to San Francisco. I know the 49ers lost on Super Bowl Sunday, but I would argue that they lost the day they stepped foot in front of those cameras and those microphones before the game even happened. It's like, what are you doing? Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
How bad is the field, for Christ's sakes? You know what I mean?
Usher seemed to be gliding across it pretty smoothly.
No, but they were practicing at the UNLV facility.
Okay.
And the field was inspected by the NFL Players Union before, and then the 49ers show up, and they start bitching and whining about it, and then suddenly the NFLPA is like, yes, it's a problem. It's like, what? 2 days ago you said it was fine. What?
They got the worst union, man.
They also, did you hear the story about someone pulling the alarm at the 49ers hotel? The fire alarm?
No.
That shit was funny as hell.
There was a streaker, too, that made it onto the field.
There were two streakers.
There were two streakers, okay.
Yeah.
One day they should do they should find out how many security there are and then organize for one more streaker. And then all of them run out and security has to take down 48 streakers.
You know what my favorite part about my notes that I have here under put some spec on my name.
Okay.
I wrote if the 49ers win, it's got to be Kyle Shanahan. But it's not because you didn't.
Put some spec on my name.
I don't even have anybody. I didn't even come up with something. I'm just glad it's not him.
Fucking Jawan Jennings, man.
Oh, that's a good one.
Put some spec on my name. Y'all couldn't let me quarterback in the league, and I threw a better pass than our quarterback.
Was he on the team last year?
I don't know. But he got, I mean, remember that one-handed catch he makes to get them out of trouble to get here?
That's true. He had a great playoffs, actually.
Yeah, man. So
he's been really
put
good
some spec on Jawan Jennings' name, man. 15, baby. Go get that money.
That's pretty good. I like that one. That's a good one. Scariest AFC team? Chiefs? Are you still going to go Ravens? Dolphins? Dolphins? No?
It's Bengals, man. It's your Super Bowl pick, the Bengals.
Bengals. Scariest NFC team. I mean, Falcons
the
got
favorite,
a new coach.
Super Bowl favorites. Super Bowl favorites.
Falcons got a new coach. I don't know. Y'all better watch out. We might be sneaky good next year.
I've got controlled fury.
Yes.
I'm ready to go.
That's how I feel in September can't come fast enough, man.
Yeah, sexiest game of week 1. Let's go.
Exactly.
What do we got? Here's some, before we duck out, we have the dates to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
You got the NFL Combine, February 29th through March 3rd.
Please don't forget mock draft season.
Well, that's just now.
All year.
That's right now. Yeah. Free agency begins on March 13th. And the draft, which will be held in Detroit this year, will take place on April 25th through April 27th.
Nice.
However, when they don't, NFL schedule release
March, right?
Isn't that usually in May?
May. They try to do something every month.
And don't they?
Because the practice.
They usually don't say
May camp, and then they have practice.
They usually don't say at this point.
We know who every team's playing. Yeah.
Yeah, that. But the
schedule comes out in May, I believe.
No official date has been provided so far, but yeah. Schedule has been released on the second Thursday of May in the past 2 seasons. So, yeah, May, middle of May.
But when some shit goes down, we'll come back and talk to y'all, listeners.
We should come back in a few weeks and do something on, and like do something on the draft.
Okay. I'll do some research and some coaching stuff. I want to look into the coaches, to the teams, and see what we can look forward to. Yeah, what we can look forward to. Because once we get into that, I think that helps us with making our bets too.
Totally. I can already say right now, spoiler alert, I'm betting for the Cowboys to go all the way. Especially after having just recently heard that they're going to keep Mike McCarthy, and they have hired Mike Zimmer as their defensive coordinator.
Ooh, Mike Zimmer is going to be able to play around with Lawrence and fucking Micah Parsons. You know who else they were talking to? Rex Ryan.
Exactly, yeah. Zimmer used to be the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys a long time ago.
For the Vikings, right? Oh. No, not
He used to be the head coach for the Vikings. But he used to be the...
Oh, yeah, and then the Bengals, yeah.
Yeah, he was the DC for the Cowboys a long time ago, early 2000s.
He's good, man.
So, yeah, we can fuck around with that shit later.
Yeah.
So, Cowboys fans, y'all. You're already winning the offseason again.
You already found your interim head coach, man. So that's good. When he gets I might put that as a tweet. Mike Zimmer was hired as interim head coach for next year's Dallas Cowboys.
defensive coordinator, aka interim head coach.
Yeah, slash. All right. Well, thank you all for checking this episode. This season has been fun, man. The 2023 season's in the books. We got our Super Bowl champion. No surprise here, but the Kansas City Chiefs won it all again. We are watching a dynasty. We got to witness 2 in our lifetime. 3, kind of, because you had the 49ers, too. So, I mean, it's fun. It's fun that we get to do this. But good luck to your team if they're the Chiefs. No, we appreciate everybody that's been chugging along with us, and we're gonna keep doing this, man. It's fun to do until the Dolphins play the Falcons. That's how long we're gonna do this in the Super Bowl. Until they play the Falcons in the Super Bowl, we'll be doing this. So y'all take care, man. Thanks again for this season. We'll be back sporadically throughout the offseason. It's been Jonathan Rollins.
Skip me, Sarah.
With SveNFL. Peace.
Later, y'all.